When you hear the roar of engines at Daytona or see the flashing lights of Talladega, it's easy to believe that NASCAR was born in the age of gleaming superspeedways. But the truth is far more humble, gritty, and deeply American. The sport that now packs stadiums with hundreds of thousands of fans didn't begin with million-dollar cars and corporate sponsorships. It began with moonshine runners, dirt ovals carved out of farmland, and one forgotten speedway that gave birth to it all. This is the story of Lakewood Speedway in Atlanta, Georgia, once hailed as the Indianapolis of the South. Though largely forgotten today, its rutted turns and dusty grandstands shaped the very DNA of stock car racing, and without it, NASCAR, as we know it, might never have existed. The moonshine roots of racing. Long before there were official races, the American South already had fast cars and fearless drivers. During Prohibition in the 1920s and early 30s, bootleggers in Appalachia modified ordinary Fords and Chevrolets to outrun federal agents on winding country roads. They stripped out seats to make cars lighter, tuned engines for raw speed, and learned how to handle skids on dirt. These were the skills of survival, but they were also the skills of racing.
Fastest motor speedway into the Clauna 400, featuring America's fastest drivers in stock cars, competing.
On quiet nights, when business was slow, moonshine runners lined up their cars on dirt clearings or county fairgrounds, daring each other to prove who had the fastest machine. Crowds began to gather. Bets were placed. The thrill of outlaw racing was born. By the late 1930s, this underground culture started moving into the daylight, and nowhere gave it more legitimacy than Atlanta's Lakewood Speedway. Lakewood Speedway, the Indianapolis of the South. Built in 1917 as part of the Lakewood Fairgrounds, Lakewood Speedway was originally designed for horse racing. But by the 1920s, the thunder of engines replaced the pounding of hooves. The 1-mile dirt oval quickly became one of the premier racing venues in the South. The track was a beast. Its clay surface kicked up massive dust clouds. Drivers wrestled with ruts that grew deeper with every lap. Crashes were frequent, and safety was almost non-existent. Spectators often stood just a few feet from the track, separated by nothing but a flimsy wooden fence. Yet that danger only made it more thrilling. Crowds of 30,000 or more packed into the fairgrounds, cheering on daredevil drivers in stripped-down Fords, Buicks, and Chevrolets. For the South, Lakewood was more than entertainment. It was proof that their kind of racing could rival anything up north. The birth of organized stock car racing. In the 1930s and 40s, Lakewood became the proving ground for stock car racing. Unlike the Indy 500, which featured purpose-built open-wheel machines, Lakewood specialized in stock cars, vehicles that looked like the ones parked in your driveway. Promoters realized that fans loved seeing everyday automobiles pushed to their limits. Watching a Buick Century or a Ford Coupe thunder down the straightaway felt personal, relatable. If that car could survive Lakewood's turns, maybe it could survive your family trip to town. Drivers like Roy Hall, Lloyd Say, and Red Byron, all former moonshine runners, became legends at Lakewood. They turned local fame into regional stardom. The track gave them credibility, and the crowds gave them ambition. It was the perfect storm. Outlaw skill meeting organized promotion. The legend of Lloyd Seay. No story of Lakewood is complete without mentioning Lloyd Seay. Born in Dawsonville, Georgia in 1919, Seay was a moonshiner-turned-racer who many believe was the most naturally gifted driver of his era. At Lakewood, Seay wowed crowds with his fearless style, sliding through corners in ways that defied physics. In 1941, he captured one of the most famous victories in track history, dominating a 200-mile event that left fans convinced he was destined for greatness. Tragically, Seay's story ended just one day later. After returning home, he was killed in a dispute over sugar used for moonshine. His death shocked the racing world, but it cemented Lakewood as the birthplace of legends and underscored the tight bond between bootlegging and stock car racing. Bill France and the vision of NASCAR. As thrilling as Lakewood was, stock car racing in the 1940s was chaotic. Rules varied from track to track. Promoters were notorious for cheating drivers out of prize money. Fans loved the spectacle, but the sport lacked order. Enter Bill France Sr., a mechanic and racer from Daytona. France saw the potential for something bigger. Watching races at Lakewood and similar tracks, he realized stock car racing needed an organizing body, a league that could bring structure, enforce rules, and attract real money. In December 1947, France gathered promoters, officials, and drivers at the Streamline Hotel in Daytona Beach. Out of that meeting came the National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, NASCAR. Though born in Florida, NASCAR's spirit was forged on tracks like Lakewood. Without its chaos, its stars, and its roaring crowds, France might never have envisioned the empire he eventually built. The post-war boom. After World War II, America craved excitement, and Lakewood delivered. Veterans returned home with mechanical skills and a hunger for adrenaline. Automakers churned out faster, flashier cars, and fans wanted to see them battle on the dirt. Lakewood hosted not just local races, but early official NASCAR events. In 1949, the track was one of the sites for NASCAR's inaugural strictly stock season.
150th anniversary celebration, the 250-mile automobile race. Entries are standard model stock cars from each of the major manufacturers.
The very first races that would evolve into today's Cup Series. Those events connected the outlaw past of moonshiners directly to the polished future of professional racing. The beginning of the end. By the 1960s, the sport was changing. Asphalt tracks replaced dusty dirt ovals. New superspeedways like Charlotte Motor Speedway and Daytona International Speedway drew the spotlight. They offered better facilities, safer conditions, and more lucrative sponsorships. Lakewood, with its crumbling wooden grandstands and muddy track, began to feel outdated. Crowds shrank. Drivers preferred the smoother, faster asphalt circuits. By the late 1970s, Lakewood Speedway had fallen silent, its legacy fading into memory. Today, the site is little more than a ghost, swallowed by development, remembered only by aging fans and a few weathered photographs. Why Lakewood matters. Though forgotten by most, Lakewood Speedway was the crucible where NASCAR's DNA was forged. It brought moonshine runners into the spotlight, gave promoters a taste of organized stock car racing, and proved that Southern fans would turn out in droves for the sport. It was the missing link between Prohibition's outlaw roads and the billion-dollar spectacle of modern NASCAR. Every green flag waved at Daytona or Talladega still carries echoes of the dust that once rose over Atlanta. NASCAR today is big business. Television contracts, luxury boxes, and cars engineered to perfection. But its heart remains in the red clay of forgotten tracks, like Lakewood Speedway. The next time you see a driver raise a trophy at Daytona, remember that the sport's roots lie not in corporate boardrooms, but in moonlit country roads and a humble Georgia speedway where daredevils once risked everything for speed, glory, and a chance to be remembered.